I am taking a long shot of our next discussion about Maxdale Cemetery, and that is cast iron fencing. In the 1880s, cast iron fencing was available in a variety of designs, motifs, and shapes. Families or cemetery associations, they could create unique designs from mass-produced products by picking and choosing different gates, posts, picket tops, all from different catalogs. So we're going to take a look. There is, I believe I counted 7 different cast iron gates at Maxdale Cemetery. I actually went through and looked at some catalogs to find the designs and such, and they all have a different name. This is a bow because of this here, and picket. Let me do that again, I'm sorry. Bow and picket. It's gorgeous. There's some detail that of course has faded over the years, but look at that. Now this one looks like it encloses a family plot. I'm sorry if the video's not so great. The sun is so bright that I am not exactly sure what I'm filming. So I'm trying to get in there so you can see different things. Here's a post you could choose from. They're very sturdy. This one has a gate. So let's look at the gate over here. This is beautiful, beautiful art here. It's a dying art in the cemeteries because our modern cemeteries don't allow, a lot of them don't allow for fencing and such. But this is just one example, and we have the scrolls here and the picket, it kind of right there level with them. Here's the gate to get in. Look at that, it is rusty. Okay, so that is one of the many that are out here. Over there in the distance is my next target, and I'm heading up to it now. And from here, it just looks like it is for a single grave. It looks like it is a bow and picket also. And I did look at the brand name over there for this one, and it was Stewart, and I believe this one's going to be Stewart also. That was a common ironworks manufacturer that people could order from. I'm sure the cemetery ordered it and you designed it from what the cemetery had available. So here we go. Here's this picture. Here's another of the locks. This one though, look at this. Where the other one was almost flush, this one's taller. Absolutely gorgeous. And once again, it is a bow and picket. I'm going to step back a little bit. Try to get a good picture of that for you. Here is the back side of it. Back side of the gate. Gorgeous. So bow picket for family plot. Bow and picket for an individual plot. Now we're going to turn around because our next target, well, that's a set of 3 over there. So we're going to go on over here to this one. It is what looks like to be a hairpin design, which is similar to the bow, but it's narrower, and it doesn't have a picket in between. I'm sure it all is about price, or not all of it, but a lot of it is about price. This has no gate. So the rose bushes, which is another symbolic, well, I don't know if those are rose bushes or not. They're some kind of thick vine. But anyway, so this one does not have a gate. All it has is the hairpin look to it, which is still gorgeous and still a piece of art. Look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm glad that I am sharing this with you. And like I said, I mean, they're sturdy still to this day. They are very sturdy. Hoping I'm not shaking the camera too much for you. Here's a good shot of it on the back side. Gorgeous. Okay, moving around slowly, passing the false crypt, is 3 more cast iron fencing. Now this first one we're going to look at has a gate. Similar to the other gates, it has the scroll pattern. I don't see the manufacturing plate on the gate here like on the other ones. Let me see. Same latch to get in. This has 2 graves in it. And it has some mementos on the graves. It is a shorter, as you can see, much shorter hairpin. Look at that. Now, let's look in here at the graves. Infant daughter of Enos and can't read that. 1925 to 1926. Someone has come out and left toys on these graves. Alright, let me scan. You see the posts here aren't highly decorative. They're just regular old posts. Once again, you could pick and choose. Here's where it attaches, but you got a prettier fennel on that one. Get, ooh, vines. Now we're going back. Here's still the hairpin. Here's a brace. Can you see that brace coming off that one? There we go, keeping it together for many years. Look at that. Infant son of Milton and Dolly Perry. The ducky is covering over the birth date. I think it's 1925 to 1926 is what I'm thinking. There is no irises planted in this one. I don't see any. All right. So our second one is, look at this. It is a picket fence, but to me, I would call this a double picket. Let me step out and show you. Look at that. That is, make sure I don't trip over something back here, a tall and short picket right there. So I'd call that a double picket. It does have it's not an iris, but it does have a plant that can survive out here on its own. Now, these are more recent burial. They were buried 1923 and 1935. So, obviously, the cast iron gates were still in vogue in early 1900s. This is the gate. It's a beautiful scrolling gate also. I really love that. I want you to take notice that the front here has the simple pickets on it, but if you can see, the back fence is more decorative. It has more the floral-y look than the front one. Once again, absolutely gorgeous. Bracing right here. Bracing. And more bracing on that side. Now let's go to this one over here. Now it is, once again, a bow and picket, but the pickets are a little fancier than what we saw on the other one. This is for a baby, looks like a 3-year-old, born 1881, died 1884. Parents probably spent a little bit more money on this fence, I would think, because it's not just a simple picket. It is the floral look here with the bow. But the end fennels here, I don't know if that's really what they're called, that's what I'm calling them, are beautiful. And then they go all the way around. Oh, look at this. This has been broken off. Interesting. Anyway, that one's a little shorter. It's been broken off. And this is the back view of this lone little grave. There is so much art in a cemetery. I enjoy it so much. I will say that when it comes to the iron fencing, there is a black market. I call a black market for it. So if you have a loved one and you find them buried in a rural cemetery somewhere and they have these cast iron fences and they're broken, don't lean it up against a tree. That kind of signifies for people who are being not so honest to take it. Like, oh, well, they don't want it. Look, it's broken. It's leaning against a tree. I'm going to take it. They shouldn't anyway, but that does. So if you find one that is broken, leave it within the grave, leaning against the fence part until you can get it restored. And there's lots of restoration places and info, of course, on Google and YouTube. Alrighty, I think we have covered the cast iron fences pretty thoroughly. So we're going to go to our next amazing item.